Meta's policy for dealing with deepfakes and AI is under fire after it allowed an altered video of President Joe Biden to remain online. This week, Meta's oversight board called the company's manipulated media policies, quote, incoherent and confusing. Meta now says it's taking a number of measures to address AI-generated content on its platforms, including labeling them as such in the months to come. Nick Clegg is president of global affairs at Meta, and he joins me now to discuss these concerns. Nick, welcome back to the NewsHour. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So I just want to show people again the image. When you begin to label images generated with AI on your platforms, on Facebook and Threads and Instagram, it's going to look like this. There's going to be a little watermark in the corner and a label there, AI info. I guess the question is, how do you know it's AI? If it's not generated on your own platform, do you have the tools to detect an AI-generated image if it's created somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, you make exactly the right distinction, which is, of course, if people use our tools to generate AI images, we know that and we can watermark that, and we do that already. So if you use one of our tools to concoct an image using AI, there's a circular watermark which makes it very clear that it's not a sort of real photograph taken by a human being. Your question, quite right, is what happens when someone uses someone else's tools, and there are more and more of them and they're multiplying, and then seeks to share it with their friends and post it on Instagram, Facebook, Threads. And I think we've made some real progress as an industry within under the umbrella of an organization called Partnership for AI, which brings together a lot of the main players to develop common standards so that when we, as it's sort of called in the jargon, ingest, in other words, when we bring onto our platform because someone's sharing it on Instagram or Facebook, something which has been concocted elsewhere, has been generated elsewhere, there is an invisible watermark, something which allows our technology to automatically identify it, and then we can choose, as we will choose, to label it so users can distinguish between what is human and not human, what is synthetic and what is not synthetic.
And to be clear, Nick, I apologize for is that something you can do now or something you will be able to do?
It's something we can do now with images, and we will be instituting in the weeks and months to come. But the difficulty is the technology doesn't yet exist across the industry to apply the same kind of common standards on audio or video content. And of course, there's always the risk that people who want to use these tools for malicious purposes will try and evade those rules. So I don't think it is a perfect solution, but just because it's not perfect does not mean that we shouldn't do anything. So this is, I think, the best thing we can do right now in keeping with the state of the technology as it exists today.
Well, let me ask you about your policies as they exist today, because it was your own oversight board that said your current policies are a little confusing and incoherent. There was this video that spread on Facebook last year. It was the unaltered original video, showed President Biden placing an "I voted" sticker on his granddaughter's chest. The manipulated one, the fake one, made it look as if he was repeatedly inappropriately touching her, and that spread quite a bit. You made the decision to leave it up. Why did that video not violate your rules?
Well, I should be clear. The Oversight Board said that we were right to keep it up, and they actually criticised us for being inconsistent about when we remove content. And they basically said that trying to play whack-a-mole and remove individual bits of content is inconsistent and not effective. So what we're saying this week is very much in keeping with the critique that the Oversight Board delivered. Namely, we are now going to label much more visibly for users on a much wider scale content that is artificially generated.
Nick, if I may, but that video, especially in this election year that we're in, that video showed a presidential candidate doing something he did not do. How worried are you that those kinds of videos are going to be spread even more widely, and they actually could help spread dangerous information in a key election year?
Well, I don't think it will be that dangerous as long as we can tell users that it is synthetic, that it is AI generated. And do remember, of course, that any synthetic content, any AI generated content about any of the candidates will immediately be noticed by those candidates. So I don't think there's much risk that it'll go somehow unnoticed and many millions of people will see it and no one will realize. And we will then, of course, be able to move if our automated systems, in the way that I described earlier, haven't caught it already. We will then be able to label it. So I'm I certainly don't want to be complacent, but I think considerable efforts will be made by us and others to make sure that users can, to the very best of our powers, be able to distinguish between something that has actually been produced authentically and something which has been produced by AI. And I hope also alongside our policies, which mean that no one can run a political ad on Facebook or Instagram without declaring and disclosing that they've used AI. And if they do that and they systematically try and avoid that policy, we will, of course, take action against them.
When you say take action against them, apologies, I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time. When you say take action against them, what does that mean? You'll take the videos down, take the ads down?
Yeah, and we've got a whole range of penalties, which of course can start with a warning if they've done it inadvertently, right through to basically saying they can't run ads on Facebook and Instagram. There's a range of penalties that we can apply, and I would have thought most mainstream campaigns would want to retain the ability to communicate with political ads on our platform. So I think they've got a huge incentive to play by our rules.
And Nick, what's the role for lawmakers here? I mean, there was a bipartisan bill that would officially ban the use of AI content that deceptively portrays candidates for federal office in political ads. Do you support that bill?
I haven't looked at that bill specifically, but I do think there is very much a need and space for regulation. At the end of the day, we're talking here about the policies that we have developed to the best of our abilities about how users will be able to, and viewers be able to decide for themselves whether something is AI generated or not. But when it comes to elections, the elections belong to the people, to the country, not to big tech companies. And it really should be as part of the democratic process for democratic politicians to come together across party lines and decide for themselves the guardrails that they want to apply in elections, and we, of course, will abide by whatever guardrails they come up with.
That is Nick Clegg, President of Global Affairs at Meta, joining us tonight. Nick, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you.